Nice. Boom. Ladies and gentlemen, my boy, Crux Mansata walking in. Yo, he's the guest tonight on the podcast. What's going on, my dude? Oh my God. Walking in on this beat too. Oh my God. Dude, it's my honor to have this seat. It's my boy, Crux Mansata. Follow-up podcast, which is probably going to be another epic podcast. This beat, my dude. This is you. Why don't you get on this real quick? Go in.
They don't give a fuck about us. Truth is, they don't know enough about us. They trying to poison my liver with NJ so they can shut down my body and decode my DNA. World still trying to figure out who God is.
Yo, straight knowledge, Jewel. Yo, this is official, bro. Production's right, the vocals are right. Straight conscious knowledge tonight on SQR Podcast. My boy Crux Mansata, of course. A.T. Jones on the keyless rolling, tickling, blessing this track right now. Ladies and gentlemen, you're in for a treat. Stay tuned. Don't move.
We still receive the scarecrow pick at the dead fruit hanging from the tree. Rain won't wash the blood stains from off of the leaf. Do you believe in is a Jesus Satan?
Classic stuff, bro. SQR Podcast, Score Rosenberg. I just gotta let this hook play for a little bit. You know what I mean? The words in this thing is bananas. The fact that you're back in the house is even such an honor.
Appreciate you having me.
My boy A.T. Jones is on the rolling.
Yeah, what's going on, man? This is tight.
Thank you.
This is tight.
Appreciate you.
SQR Podcast, Score Rosenberg. Honored and blessed to be able to crack into this wonderful podcast. It's like a catch-up podcast, but it's going to be so jewel-felt. Why? We got a performance. We got a whole, intimate catch-up with a brother, family member, we would say, as he's been here before. SQR Podcast, Score Rosenberg. As we get ready to dig in, my boy, I the way I normally start the show, I take my time to crack into and give thanks to everybody who's been here. As we get ready to crack into this, I want to give a big shout out to my boy Manny that's on the camera. I know holding us down on the sound. Bong, 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 bong. I want to give a big shout out to my boy Charles, making sure everything is muy bueno with the cameras. Of course, Lou helping us out to make sure everything is bueno. And of course, my boy A.T. Jones on the roll. Thank you, bro. Thank you. As we get ready to crack into this podcast, the man of the hour is back in the house.
Thank you. Appreciate you, bro.
Over these beautiful vocals.
Man, I'm glad I'm here.
Crux Mansata is in the house. Yo, bong, 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 bong. Completely killed that music for me, so let's just go and dry on this. My friend, it's an honor to have you in the house.
It's an honor to be here, bro.
My dude, when we look at your social media movement right now, you are the hottest thing coming out of Patterson, bro.
Man, I'm trying to reach everybody. While you're here, you gotta leave something, and I'm trying to leave something. You got a purpose. Everybody got a purpose.
Right off the bat, remember I told everybody this is a jewel-filled podcast, and right off the bat, he's dropping a jewel. You know how we do when you say something profound, because everybody think their life is so insignificant, but it's not.
Nah, we all got a purpose.
Crux, man, why don't you just let people know where they could find you and tap into some of your music before we do this catch-up?
Well, I got stuff. You can find me on SoundCloud at Crux Mansata. You can find me on YouTube at Crux Mansata. I got a few videos out. And you can follow me on Instagram at Crux Mansata or Crux Mansata, Crux_Mansata.
All right, here's what we're going to do. It would be almost illegal for me to even continue this conversation without you getting a green bottle from our sponsor, Heineken. So why don't you turn around, grab something from that refrigerator. As a matter, don't grab something. Grab the only thing that's in the refrigerator, a Heineken. And we have the new 00s, which are alcohol-free, but I know you want a real Heineken. So those are alcohol-free, but right behind those, you want to have one of those?
I mean, nah.
You want? Okay. For real. Yeah, grab one of those, and I'll pop it open for you.
There you go.
Nice. One thing we do here on the podcast is we enjoy the number one beer.
Heineken. It sounds like we're doing a commercial for it.
You know what's so funny? It may seem like a commercial, but it's all organic stuff. That's the only beer we drink here. And, that's our... Heineken is our sponsor.
Yeah, I could tell.
So not only do we enjoy Heineken, but we drink responsibly here. And that's the most important thing. So as we get ready to crack into your story, Score Rosenberg, SQR Podcast, my boy Crux Mansata. The last time we were here, we had like a double interview, if we remembered.
Yeah, I remember.
Because we had a technical difficulty the first night, and you and I sat in the kitchen and we just built for like an hour. Yeah. So when I did have you on the podcast and we chopped that up, it even got deeper. And one of the things I took away from that was the self-value, self-worth, and just the awareness that you came with.
Yeah, I had to teach myself that though. It wasn't easy. You know what I mean? That's something I had to dig deep into, and because I ask a lot of questions to myself, and I try to figure out why everything is, because everything is for a reason. Nothing isn't just because. So I had to teach myself how to value myself, and made a lot of mistakes, but I'm glad that I'm blessed enough to actually look back, and not a lot of people don't get a chance to look back, and you know what I mean? There's people doing life right now that can never come home, so I'm blessed.
Ooh. Talk about a jewel-filled podcast, guys. Be on point. Get your baskets out because the jewels are coming at full blast right now.
Yeah.
Here's what's interesting. Let's recap a little bit of the previous podcast we had, where we dissected your life. We learned about the gang affiliation. We learned about all of that. Right? So when you said you taught yourself that, let's just recap that. So grew up in Patterson.
Well, I'm from Inglewood.
Yes.
I'm from Inglewood, but I live in Patterson right now. I've been there for a little while, though.
Remember going through high school, all that stuff, joining the gang. Refresh everybody real quickly on your walk to where you are right now.
Well, young age, I got involved with the gang. Kind of was one of the top in my area. But once I realized that it was taking my family member, it was taking my friends, I came up with a plan, and the plan was to make sure that whatever I do is to save them instead of leading them into destruction. I started telling everybody to get jobs. We ran vans. We went down to the beach. We'll do simple things other than
gangbang.
Gangbang, yeah.
That's big.
Yeah.
So as you recap on that previous podcast and your life movement, it transitioned to now where you are one of the most eloquent, because in your raps, in your music, you have so much to say.
Yeah, I'm all over the place sometimes.
but that's what I'm saying. You have so much to say, and even the record we just heard, and the title of that record.
Oh yeah, the woke report.
The work report.
Woke
report.
Yeah,
Let's get it right. The woke report.
Yeah.
Every bar in there is something conscious.
I'm very conscious.
Well, that's a given.
Yeah.
Let me just go back to this. After you left here on a podcast, things kind of changed for you because you weren't doing that at the time when you were here.
With the conscious stuff?
No, not the conscious stuff, the music. You weren't as hard in the music when you were here.
Yeah.
So let's pick up from there.
Well,
what changed?
Like I said, I've always done music since I would say 6 years old. From like 6 to 13, I did R&B. I sung.
Because we hear you on the hook on this one, yeah.
But that was playing around. I could really say. But from 14 and when I became 14, I wrote my first rap, and nobody believed it was me because it was good. And I kept going, and then I merged the two together.
The singing and the rapping. So can I challenge you on this? And you looked at me and said, I can sing. And then I laughed, and you're like, no, I can really sing.
Yeah, but I ain't gonna sing.
Come on, my dude. Just give me one Acapulco.
Nah. Ooh, yeah.
I'll take that. Toast to that. Toast to that. So, as we navigate, the transition into getting serious with the music, when you left here, because the videos you've been watching, which is on YouTube right now. And what's the name of that song that's on YouTube right now?
It's one called None of You, and then there's one called Cha Cha.
Okay.
And there's one called Englewood, where that's the one I kind of tell my story and tell a lot of people's story that don't have a voice to speak for themselves.
Because you're not here right now.
And I hear a lot of people I've heard people call me and tell me that they listened to it and cried, because like I said, where I'm from, it's not Patterson, it's not Newark, but it's not where Russell Simmons lived. It's not as bad as here, but we got our problems. Like, I know people that's getting shot at right now, but you see the difference with Patterson and Bergen County, they'll hide it in Bergen County because it has like an image that they want to preserve. They want to keep that image, so when something go bad, they sweep it on the rug. But you actually got to live there to know what's going on, but it happens. SQR Podcast, SQR Rosenberg, my boy Crux Mansata, you're really sharing.
Yeah. And that's where you're getting the ingredients for your.
Yeah, everything I say and everything I do is genuine. it comes from a real story, it comes from real people, it comes from my own personal life, it comes from things I've seen, things I've done. And like I said, I've been the voice. When I did the Inglewood song, I've had people come to me and literally cry, like, you touch me, because a lot of people don't have the voice. The best thing about music is that you have the ability to control emotions.
SQR Podcast, Scott Rosenberg, a jewel being dropped. Could you say that again, my dude?
Yeah, the best thing about music, you have the ability to create emotions. You can make somebody happy, you can make somebody sad, you can make, the music puts you in the mood.
Your awareness for community and helping others and changing direction of the young ones out there was very prominent in the previous podcast, and I see that's still part of what you're doing right now.
Yeah.
Any new programs that you developed, or what's new on the agenda for you right now?
Well, I use my social media as my voice too, because that's what's, that's like your own promotion.
Megaphone, yeah.
Yeah. So I put a lot of things that people wouldn't put, especially coming from me. It was hard to start doing that. When I first started, it was hard because of where I came from. A lot of people knew me for being in a gang and being a gang member.
So how come this consciousness all of a sudden?
Yeah, it wasn't an easy transition, but it's always been me. I've always had my own personality, my own self. So when I started doing it, it was natural because I wasn't being something I wasn't. But I started doing it. Once I started doing it, a lot of people don't talk about it. And even when surprisingly, a lot of people are conscious. They just don't speak about it. They don't talk about it. They don't know how to express it. Because when I talk to people, I tell them certain things, they tell me like, "Oh, I know." I'm like, so why you do certain things if you know?
SQR Podcast for Rosenberg. We're gonna close out on that jewel. Why do you do certain things if you know?
Yeah.
Wow. We're gonna take a quick break. We're gonna come back. I want to catch up on the new music that's coming out. I want to go over one of the stories in that video about Inglewood. Mm-hmm. I want to go in and dissect one of those scenes.
You remember?
That you brought back. SQR Podcast, Scott Rosenberg, my boy Crux Mansata, and after that we got a performance of the woke report coming up. Stay tuned. You're in for a treat. One.
Definitely. Yeah. Pulled up on an op block, hit the opposition with the chopper. Slide off like the cha-cha. When the feds come, we don't habla. Young, rich, and I'm handsome. Scoop your bitch in a phantom. 30 clip in a handgun. Made a meal on my Samsung. Pulled up on an op block, hit the opposition with the chopper. Slide off like the cha-cha. When the feds come, we don't habla. Young, rich, and I'm handsome. Scoop your bitch in a phantom. 30 clip in a handgun. Made a meal on my Samsung.
You know me? I am the original Jamaican Dantana. You understand? Jamaican road boy.
SQR Podcast, my boy A.T. Jones. Giving him that moment to just really bless you with the rolling right there, the keyless rolling. I tried to play it earlier, and it was just like, wow, dude, I respect the ability that you have right there. But tonight, as we get ready to, wrap up with my boy here, Crux Mansata, we were talking about the name itself. In Jamaica, we wouldn't say Crux Mansata. We would say Crux Mansata.
Yeah, Crux Mansata.
And the crux, let's remind them, the crux is the Ethiopian
crux,
the ankh.
Yes, the ankh.
Which is, that symbol which you, and I'm going to ask you again, why were you drawn to that?
I was drawn to it because once I started studying and reading, I realized a lot of stuff that we know today, even Christianity, Islam, it Egyptians, the Kemites, the people from Kemet predates it, a lot of it. So it's a lot of things that we do today, which we don't know that it's been done, and it's been done. That even the days of the week is named after the moon, the sun. It's planets. So it's a lot of like you wake up every day, right? You say Monday, but a lot of people don't know Monday is because of moon. So it was moon day. They don't know Saturday is because of Saturn day, or Sunday is the day of the sun, Sunday. So a lot of people just go on about their day not knowing. They just, it's Monday, Sunday, but everything, like I said, has an origin, purpose, reason.
SQR Podcast, Scott Rosenberg, my boy Crux Mansata, just dropping jewels on you right there, and a lot of knowledge actually, which is so unique for your journey, what you're doing right now, and the awareness that you're bringing, which is why I want people to pay attention to this podcast. because people say you can't judge a book by its cover. You really need to open that book and read that book. And I had a chance to do that in our first podcast. And even as we go through here, to see that you're so still passionate about your journey. And I'm seeing that right now with your social media move. I wanted to just go into two of the songs that you wrote and kind of dissect them a little bit.
All right.
The Woke Report is one. But let me go back to the Inglewood video that you did. The name of that record.
Yeah.
Was Inglewood.
Yeah, titled Inglewood.
All right.
Yeah.
I've seen that video, and in the scenes there, you were telling stories throughout that. Can I ask you to dissect one of those powerful stories?
I think one of the most, I say, beautiful and important part was when I did a scene, and it was like a cookout, and it was a candlelight visual, and everybody was outside with the candles of people that actually really passed away, like really like loved ones. And when you watch that video, it was her name is Natasha. I was hugging her. If you watch it, and you can see like the actual pain in her face from her mother being passed away, because we grew up, and like I said, we have our own stories, so you just don't hear about it. So when I made that video,
you asked her to come and create that moment, or just
they all, everybody showed up. A lot of people showed up, and I was pleased because people came and they brought pictures of their loved ones, and we lit the candles, we let balloons go for the people that passed away. So it was one of my favorite video, and it was one of my favorite moments. When
any of our guests get a chance to not only check out your production and your stuff, they'll see that it's high quality. You're not, as I say, you're not trying to do this, you're doing this. Can I ask you, you're writing, you're doing this.
Yeah.
Production.
Yeah.
You're working with producers around. On your videos, who's doing the production for that and the...
Well, the person I go to, which is the one that records me, the one that does my video, his name is A&S.
Okay.
And he owns the studio in Cresskill, and he does really good work.
Can we just toast to A&S, because
A&S,
that Woke Report was official. yeah.
And man, that video, I got some. We're gonna do some new videos.
Can I ask you this, looking back from your life story to right now, even right as we're sitting at this table tonight? Is there anything that you could say you were glad you went through that, or did this, or didn't do to get you here right now?
Yeah, when I got shot, and when I was in the hospital, the doctor told me if the bullet was just down an inch more, I wouldn't be here. And then I said, like 2 years later, I got my face cut, and the doctor told me if the blade was an inch, I wouldn't be here. So I told myself that's twice. Three times I might not be here. 3 times I'm out. And so, but I'm gonna be honest, man, like every time something happens, I wasn't supposed to be there. Like every time something happened, I was supposed to go see my daughter, and I end up going somewhere else.
SQR Podcast, Corey Rosenberg. That in itself is a jewel.
Yeah. Every time something happened, I was not supposed to be where I ended up at.
The Woke Report. Your new single.
Yeah.
We've been rocking it. You came in on the record.
Yeah.
You got on the mic on that. That's the performance tonight on the podcast. The Woke Report. What's the name about?
Well, it's about basically being, like I said, woke, being conscious of what is, like, because a lot of us is walking blind. Like, you move on your everyday, but you're conditioned, you're programmed into doing certain things. Like, it is a system that religion is a system, school is a system. Like, when I asked my daughter what she was learning, she was telling me Martin Luther King and Harriet Tubman, and it made me think, like, how could she be learning that when I learned that? So in my head, I'm like, how could you really be learning about yourself? Like, we made progress. I'm talking about us as black people. Had got to be more than just Martin Luther King and Malcolm X and Harriet Tubman. Like, how come my daughter she's learning the same thing I learned? So I don't think that's really teaching us nothing.
That's powerful right there, because you're right. There have been other black influence, people doing crazy, impactful thing in this world. Why are we still just talking about those same people? Not to devalue the contribution they have made.
That's what I'm saying. Not to, but when she told me that, I'm like, now that's why I said I gotta educate myself and I gotta educate my kids, because won't get everything from school. And as I started educating myself, I realized school was teaching, especially history, bits and pieces. They was teaching you the truth, but not the whole truth.
SQR Podcast, SQR Rosenberg. That's one of the things I knew we were going to get out of you when you came here. Shots across the bow at everything that needs to be shaken up in our society. Yeah. The woke report, to be awake, to be alive. So, if you listen to the song, you talk about politics. You talk about religion heavily. In the hook, who do you worship? Yeah. And then you mentioned that when you realize that God is in you, or you are God.
Because when you study where it come from, you realize that it's based off of energy, negative energy, positive energy. Where we possess energy, everything in your body, your atoms produce energy. Everything about you, your being, physical being, is energy. But I could transfer my energy to you. Like if I come in here having a bad day, that might rub off on you. Now you having a bad day. People just don't see it that way, but you can transfer energy. If I come in here upbeat, you upbeat. If I say, yo, let's go do something crazy, I just threw your whole mood. Now you angry. You don't know why you're angry, but I'm like, yo, somebody's messing with me down the block. Let's go do something. Now you angry. You can trigger mood, and everything is like wave patterns, like thoughts of wave patterns. Everything vibrates, everything moves. You can't see it. Just like how the earth spin, you can't see it. You're vibrating. Our body consists of frequencies that we don't even know. So, wow, that's real. That's how it was taught.
No, and I think I'm a little bit aware of that. However, what I'm more fascinated by is the fact that you not only seem to be aware of it, but the application of that.
Yeah. It can get deeper.
Yeah, my boy AT said that knowledge isn't power, is the organization of knowledge. Yeah. That it is power.
The thing is, they keep you keep knowledge out of the hands of certain people, because you could use it to destroy, you could use it to build, but you keep it out the hands of certain people. SQR
Podcast, SQR Rosenberg. We could sit here and go on for an hour. And what I'd like to do with you is, and I know I know the answer to the question already. I'd like to commit to where we can come back and maybe we do like a 3-minute set once a week. You know what I mean?
I'm cool with
where
that.
We can just have a quick powwow about, some jewels and really dissect one topic. You know what I mean? Because right now, for somebody to sit back and get this whole thing, they'll be like, oh my God, I want to keep hearing more. So I want to definitely challenge you on that. I'd like to make that a thing that we do. And as we get ready to close out, the records that are being dropped, your new single Woke Report, we just finished dissecting that. You're still working on new music. We're going to get that performance tonight. Once again, could you please let the guests know where they could find you? And you got to spell the Instagram handle so they can get the correction. All
right, the Instagram is CRUX_MANSA Mansa. So that's Crux_Mansa. And same thing, if you put in Crux Mansa or Crux Mansata on YouTube, you'll find my videos.
Okay, boom. We're getting ready to close. The way I normally close is, you got 2 wishes, what you want to do. But because this is a follow-up podcast, I want to do something different with you. It's the first time I'm going to make a little shift from the way I normally close a podcast. Seeing where you are right now, what do you see the future for with you and your movement?
First, let me say R.I.P. Nipsey Hussle.
Yeah, toast to that, my dude.
Because, a lot of people, he says a lot of things that I say, but the thing is, a lot of people don't listen until a person is gone. But he's been saying a lot of things that I've been saying, so I kind of basically drawn to anyone that has that kind of mindset, because it reminds me of myself. And when you basically touch back on what you asked me earlier about why am I going so hard with the music, is because at one point nobody knew me for music. They only knew me for the gang. So when my friends would play my music, the first thing somebody would say was, the dude from the gang? And that stuck with me, because I didn't want to remember. If I do pass away, God forbid, I don't want to be remembered just as the dude in the gang.
Wow.
Yeah. So I started making music, and I started making sure that, because that's whatever I do, no matter what platform, a big platform, small platform, music is going to forever live on.
SQR Podcast, SQR Rosenberg, my boy Crux Mansata. incredible awareness of self, as I said before, of culture, of worth and value. And I love the fact that you're always searching. For real, my dude, because and also funny, you know, people may think, or when they listen to this podcast, they'll either appreciate the awareness of energy and frequencies, or listen to this like, yo, these guys are crazy.
Yeah, but the most, everybody that's different is labeled crazy. Einstein was crazy, but look what he did.
True.
You know what I'm saying? Like, look what they studying. That's like they studying him in school, like his brain, and he was crazy. I heard he used to walk around naked and be zoned out. But the crazy ones are you know what I mean? If you're not doing something different, you're basically a puppet.
SQR Podcast, as we get ready to close out, I'm going to close out with this jewel as to complement what you're just saying. I read it somewhere and I forgot where I read it, but it says, if it doesn't excite you and scare you at the same time, right? You should probably do it.
Yeah, that's how I started learning my knowledge. Whatever they tell me to stay away from, I dig into.
SQR Podcast, Corey Rosenberg, my boy Crux Mansata, as we get ready to close. Thank you so much for tuning in, guys. We're in for a treat tonight. We're going to crack in this the performance. Bang, bang, bang. Everybody, thank you so much for dialing in. You know where to find him. Check out his music. Check out his videos. Support his conscious movement. Remember, SQR Podcast, Corey Rosenberg. Stay tuned. One.
Yeah, it's your boy Crux Mansata. Don't believe the lies that was told. You know what I'm saying? Skin ain't a curse. I was told that only God could save me, but it seems like the only savior for our people was Dr. Savy. They say I'm acting like an activist. I'm trying to activate the melanin in my skin till I'm black as shit. I'm royalty, you should king me with my crown chakra. I remember hunting my ops down with the chopper, causing genocide on my own kind. And when it's black on black crime, they all blind. They don't give a fuck about us. Truth is, they don't know enough about us. They trying to poison my liver with ENJ so they could decode my body and decode my DNA. Bro, still trying to figure out who God is. God is not a him, she's a goddess. Gave birth to a world, made man in her image, and they trying to erase all of a man from off this planet. Christians murdered us, Muslims castrated us. Saw God when they looked at us, that's why they hated us. Before we fell down from grace, they used to pray to us. Used to have diamonds and gold, but we gave that up. For 40 acres and a mule that we still ain't received. The scarecrow pick at the dead fruit hanging from the tree. Rain won't wash the blood stains from off of the leaves. Black man, you gotta save yourself, get up off your knees. Who do you believe in? Is it Jesus, Satan, Buddha, or Allah? They're calling me a heathen, cause I believe that I am my own God. They're trying to dim the light within. The children of the sun shall rise again. Mama high on drugs, Papa ain't in a home. No food on the dinner plate, we all skin and bones. Had a nightmare, heaven and hell was identical. Saw fallen angels having sex with animals. Indian leaf feasting on children, they cannibals. Keep your eyes on those who get high on adrenochrome. They putting cancer within our bones. We getting sick from the shit that they feed us. Poor people down while the rich got their feet up. White Jesus was a trick to defeat us. In the scripture, they gave his description. Hair like wool and feet like bronze. Death is an illusion, through my children I live on. While you look into the sky, God is within. When I look at myself, I see God in my skin. The children of the sun shall become the Elohim. Let's pray. Who do you believe in? Is it Jesus, Satan, Buddha, or Allah? They're calling me a heathen, cause I believe that I am my own God. They're trying to dim the light within. The children of the sun shall rise again. Who do you believe in? Is it Jesus, Satan, Buddha, or Allah? They're calling me a heathen, cause I believe that I am my own God. They're trying to dim the light within. The children of the sun shall rise again. Yeah, Crux Mansata.